Like there are actually good women who make good decisions and don't go out on a limb like this, and they are barely getting their prayers answered for that type of man. So if there was some type of prayer line and there was some type of queue that God had up in heaven where he's doling out who's going to get the next husband that's a good man and a good father and everything that that woman wants, why in the world would he hand them out to a woman who made a choice like this? What's going on, y'all? Back with another one. Today, I got another clip from Evan Lozato's podcast with her daughter talking about her relationship with the game. If you didn't check the previous video I did on that, definitely make sure you check it out after you watch this one. But yo, she said some things that are so interesting, man. She brought up that Ciara prayer that so many women talk about. And we got to dive into this because there's some things that we got to address in our culture so that we can stop making unwise decisions. So without further ado, let's get into this clip and find out what she had to say, y'all.
It back and I watched it, and when you're in certain moments, you think about them differently. But I had like the opportunity to watch it like everybody else, and so I don't know. It was interesting. I think it was brave. I think it was brave of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, hey, this is what it is. This is who we are. It's like, hey, this is what it is. This is who we are.
Yo, whoever cut this is wild.
And I don't know. That episode did good. It was a great
episode.
I mean,
I'm not surprised that the episode did great.
Yeah.
I think most of the world's people that are watching the podcast and know your life, and obviously, Shanice had a baby, this, that, or whatever by, game. I think that they were waiting on it, right?
It's like, let's look at some of these comments. So check out the comments. Somebody said, I can't believe that he has more chemistry with Evelyn than Shanice. This whole episode is too embarrassing for her. Wow, that's what people will say. Yo, that's crazy. Okay, it says this interview was hard to watch. Somebody said, like mother, like daughter, history repeats itself. Very reminiscent to some things I talked about in the previous video. Again, that's available if you haven't seen it already. Somebody else says, they felt bad for her. She wanted to cry so bad and they were just laughing. Be careful who you have kids with. Yeah, you do got to be careful. Somebody else said, the mother and Mr. Confidential definitely have something going on. Wow. Who jumped out the window like that? Come on. And somebody said this was a huge backfire. Okay, so that's what the comments were saying, y'all. Let's get back into it.
Like they're having all these guests on. Where is he? You know? So, I mean, I think it happened right on time. It was interesting. I don't really read comments. I have been in the game long enough.
All right, so let's check out these new ones that popped up. Somebody said they felt bad for Shanice. It seemed like she wanted to cry at one point and Evelyn just laughed. Yo, that if that's true, that's kind of diabolical. And then it says, Evelyn, why do you do your daughter like what, like this or something? I don't know. They didn't even finish that sentence. Somebody else says, so was Jackie right? I don't, maybe is that something to do with like Basketball Wives or something? Somebody said they can't wait for part 2. Somebody said they so excited. They missed the podcast. And somebody said you laughing at that part was uncalled for about the diaper changing. Your daughter actually sounded like she wanted to cry. Oh, wow. Okay. So there must be something here. Like the people in the comments are calling out something that she was laughing at her daughter about, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. I just wanted to read the comments just so you guys could see what's going on here.
To not go down the rabbit hole and read anything, because I feel like that. Years ago, I did, and this was like many.
All right, let's read some of these new ones. The other one says, you don't have time to delete, but there's a lot to learn from this episode. Okay, and then somebody else says a whole bunch of yeses, and she is her mother's daughter. I don't know if they mean that as a compliment. Let's go.
Months ago, but I don't anymore because I don't like to allow certain energy into like my life, because sometimes.
All right, there's another comment there that says, it is regrettable that a paternal figure is absent from a girl's life, affecting her even into adulthood. Without a father figure as a child, they today don't know how a man should love and treat a woman. All right, let's keep
rolling. You could read things and it's heavy or whatever, but I found it interesting that...
Y'all see that diabolical comment right there? Somebody said, yeah, he cracked them both. I hope not. Like, that is some biblically disgusting behavior. Like if a man is laid up with a woman and her mother, or a woman and her daughter, like that's foul. That's foul, man. That's foul. You need some discipline, and you need some morals for sure if you moving and operating like that. It's so many women that you can be involved with to have to go that low. Somebody else says, probably should have scrapped this one. Somebody else said, the same guy that was whoa, I'm not about to say that. Y'all almost got me.
A lot of people, because you have friends and people that send you comments and stuff like that. Everybody wanted to give Shanice the Ciara prayer. So how do you feel about that?
Please. I'm begging. I need all hands on deck with the Ciara prayer.
No. Full stop. No. And that's what we got to talk about today. Let's be real. She says that she wants the Ciara prayer. First and foremost, are you taking accountability for the decision that you made that landed you in a position of being a single mother? And let's be real, like this Ciara prayer, like the fact that there are so many women who feel like they are entitled to the Ciara prayer. Has anybody ever dissected what the heck it is? Like at the heart of it, the Ciara prayer is a prayer for a woman that had a child, not just with another man, but with a man who is promiscuous, who already has children with other women, and who is more than likely not very active in his child's life. So it is a woman praying to God that a man will be a good man, a good husband, and a good father to come in, scoop in, and save her from being a single mom to a guy that has no intention of really being active in their child's life to the degree that a good father and a husband would be. And you got to ask yourself, why does a woman who made such an unwise choice, why would she be deserving of that type of man? Like there are actually good women who make good decisions and don't go out on a limb like this, and they are barely getting their prayers answered for that type of man. So if there was some type of prayer line and there was some type of queue that God had up in heaven where he's doling out who's going to get the next husband that's a good man and a good father and everything that woman wants, why in the world would he hand them out to a woman who made a choice like this? Huh? Like you got to ask yourself, like if you were the decision maker of who gets to get the good husbands, why would you give it to a woman that has already shown through her pattern of behavior that she's not good at making decisions? Like why do you feel entitled? Why do you feel entitled that you should get that? And I'm gonna keep it real. Like the one caveat to the Ciara prayer is, the man that they getting is a simp. And I hate to say it like that, but that's really what it is. Like, I mean, women look at Russell Wilson as, some great savior, and it's because he's goofy. He's goofy to swoop in and be a stepfather and take care of some other man's kids. And I'm not knocking anybody that's out there and you choose to do that. That's your right. But what I'm saying is that is not your best option as a single man with no kids. And let's be honest, especially if you consider what they say a high value man, like the dude had money and notoriety and he chose that woman to marry. Like, but this is where you got to give it up for women like this, right? And most women that are praying the Ciara prayer, they better be in a situation like a Ciara or like this young lady that you see on your screen right now, where they're attractive women. And if they can get a man that is just so caught on the looks and he can just look past everything else, he's blinded by what a real good decision makes, then I mean, let's be real. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, that's a match made in heaven. The Russell Wilsons and the Ciaras, they deserve each other. They deserve each other. A woman that made a poor decision in the past and a man who's making a poor decision and choosing that woman to be his wife, they deserve each other and everything that comes along with it. If they have a great relationship by their standard, all the power to them. So in that regard, if that's what she wants, great. But let's be real. Most women, do they really want a Russell Wilson? Or do they want the guy that was that bad guy, but they just want him to do all of the things that a Russell Wilson type guy would do? Like marry them, like be active in their child's life like that? Yeah. There's guys like that, but they're few. and far between. And guess what? Because they know that they are rare, they take full advantage of that, and they only tend to choose women that fit their criteria. Now, some people get offended by that, but let's be real. Women, if you were in a position to pick and choose any man you want, are you telling me that you would compromise and not choose the best, highest quality? If so, why would you do that? So let's get back into this clip. Just wanted to share my thoughts on that really quick.
I think I am deserving of
Yeah.
it. I love it. Those people, I feel like truly seen the situation. You know what I mean?
Let's be real. You're deserving of it. Why? Why are you deserving of it? Why? What have you shown and proved that makes you deserving of a man to swoop in and marry you with a child? What? The fact that you're a good mother? Like, to me, the only way you could absolve yourself is that you do something that a lot of women have a hard time doing, especially single mothers who make decisions very similar to this young lady. And that is taking responsibility and admitting, I made a bad choice. I did not make a wise decision. When you can say that and you can come to a man and you can say, you know what, I made a bad choice. I love my child, but going back, if I could, I would have done it different. And unfortunately, in my experience, a lot of women don't have that sentiment, which is why I would say if you have not yet done that, then you're not deserving of a man that is ready to swoop in and take care of you and provide for you. And he's also that high caliber man that would be much more deserving to a woman that makes wise choices and understands the importance of bringing that value and less baggage into a relationship with a man like that. Like, no disrespect to her. I don't know her situation. If she has taken responsibility for that and there's other women who have done the same, then yeah, like, I feel like you can definitely still have hope that you may get one of those men. But you got to also recognize that once you had that child with that other man outside of wedlock, it greatly decreased the opportunities and the possibilities and the probabilities that you will find that husband. And that's part of the consequences of your decisions.
Played it back and I watched.
So yeah, I mean, of course, they love to hear when people say, "Hey, girl, you deserve this." Who doesn't want to hear that? Everybody wants to be cheerleaded and told that you deserve the best. But if we are ignoring unwise decisions and saying that, yo, you can make bad decisions and you can get, reap all of the benefits of somebody that made a wise decision. That's not the way this world works. That is not the way this world works. And honestly, that's not a way that we should want our culture and our society to work. That does not bring out the best in us. That does not encourage us to show up as our best in relationships. What it does is it puts us in a position where we are okay with absolving people's bad decisions and saying, hey, you know what? It's okay. You just got a blended family. You still are deserving of everything, without ever saying, you know what, before we can get you to that point, you gotta come to the table and recognize that you made some consequences that, are going to change the course of your life forever. Forever. And you can't still have the same hopes and desires and dreams when it comes to relationship and marriage as you once had. At the very least, you cannot expect that you're still going to be able to get and reap the benefits that you were before. You're no longer in or at an advantage. Like, it's a disadvantage moving and operating like that. And the same comes for men. Like, this isn't just beating up on women, but it's talking about the importance of them recognizing the consequences that their actions have. So that's my thoughts. Would love to hear your thoughts on it. Do you feel like she is entitled to the Ciara prayer? Do you feel like single moms should, be entitled to the highest quality caliber of man, even though they didn't make wise choices? I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm Jay. And like I said, I also did another video that addresses this from the game's perspective. There's also another clip that I did where she's talking about some interesting things in her relationship. And, you get to hear a little bit more about what Evelyn had to say about the situation. So if you want to check out either of those videos, they're on the channel. We'd love for you to check them out. And I can't wait to catch you in the next one. Until then, stay blessed.